dharma for a calendar day because it is man-made. But those who are familiar with Sri Aurobindo and Mother, these are the days of Siddhi or Darshana or our own birthday. We are able to connect to that aspect of the cosmic energy very easily, in spite of its just being a calendar day. Imagine what if we can connect with this cosmic energy the way the nature works. What we call cosmos is the macrocosm, and what within us is the microcosm. Today, we will be spending some time on the experience of this Darshana and Siddhi in light of Sri Aurobindo. What is in light of Sri Aurobindo? Is what Sri Aurobindo has himself experienced and then given it as a knowledge to us in terms of writing. All the experiences, whatever he has written, is his own experiences. There is no scholarly writing or there is no exaggeration of what is happening or there is no effort to impress the reader. This we are familiar with the writing songs. Savitri as his total journey into the spiritual world itself. Now, what we'll try to do now is we all have these experiences. Today, I'm not going to talk about what are the experience of Sri Aurobindo. So we all know it's a long, long way to go. But he has given us some hints where we are going through such experiences of darshana and siddhi in our daily life. Those who are definitely in the sadhana marga, but we are not aware of it. That's because of the mental activity. Now, how do we look at these experiences, these small experiences? It's not very big experience. These small experiences, at the same time, it's a small step towards the higher experiences. This will allow us in that the path of ascent when we are going higher and higher. Again, it depends on the potential of that person or that jiva and then the receptivity of the jiva. The potential is potentially our jiva is divine. But with each form it takes in the physical body, it will have a certain specific task to be attained, and through that it will experience something. So it will accumulate these experiences, and then as and when it goes on changing the body. So depending on to what extent it is moving, it will take up the experiences. So this is our main topic will be on the experience of what we get on a daily basis. So to have that experience, there are some basic minimum requirements we should be aware of it. Previously, we used to call it as a Shastra, where specifically you need to go through the system of learning set of rituals and then take into attenuation, Diksha, and then have this activity done for a certain period. Even now, we have that very systematically in the Tatra Shastra. Tantra is nothing but a technique, like what we call it as engineering. So this is one aspect of it. Those who want to get into that aspect of it, that's always available. But because of this supramental manifestation, what has happened? I hope we are all familiar with this, the word supramental manifestation. When we say that Sri Aurobindo and Mother, they have opened that super mind into our system. That's a specific reason why it has been opened. Because in the evolution, if you see the level where we are from the Jada Prakriti, there has been opening of the Prana Shakti, the Prana, or what we call it as a vital force. If you take it as, for example, as the soil, as Jada, and from that comes out the plant as representing the life force. We know that there is water or you take soil, there is life force, but it needs to come out. When it needs to come out, or including minerals in the soil, it comes out the best way we can perceive is through the plant. This becomes source of our life force energy. You name anything on earth, primary source of food or the life energy is apart from the breathing itself, the prana itself, the vata, vayu outside, to maintain the life force in the physical body, nutrition is the most important in terms of the plant life because it is extracting the life force from the Jada Prakriti and bringing it to Chetana Prakriti. Now, till then, it was completely this we can call it as tamas, the soil, the physical body. And then it is bringing the plant life as the Chetana Prakriti. So, in this, what is happening is now anybody who wants to take up the energy, they can easily have this food and then we can feel the energy within us. And then with the evolution, the animal eats animal. This food chain continues. But predominantly the life force is with the plant. And then when the life force itself, the prana itself, starting acting independently in the body, that is called as prani. The prana is manifesting through the prani of the animal. Now this, it takes thousands and millions of years. From here, we see that there is evolution of mind. So what is predominantly mind is the aspect of knowing things, learning things. Mind is meant for knowing. It is a receptivity organ. Till then, it was only for the survival and then procreation. There is a creation from the nature, and then animals will have their own way of procreation, supporting the creation. Now the evolution comes to a level where we see that now it can know things. Till then, knowing is jnana. The mind represents the level of acquiring knowledge. The most initial level, it is acquiring the physical knowledge because it is just coming out of the life force. Why it is coming out? Because in the Jada Prakriti, there is already inbuilt the entire potential of this divinity. What we call it as the divine as Jnana Ananda Swarupa. Jnana Ananda Swarupa. Jnana is knowledge, Ananda is the delight. Whenever we say anything about the highest or the supreme or the divine, it always means Jnana Ananda Swarupa. On the other side, the Jnana becomes Ajnana, Ananda becomes Dukkha. So these are just the other side of it. It's not the lower side of it. First, we need to experience this Ajnana because we are coming out of this Jada Prakriti which represents Ajnana or the Tamoguna. And the creation is Rajoguna. From there, Rajoguna is the vital force or the Prana Shakti. From there, the mind is representing the Sattva Guna. So these three gunas within us becomes physical body, the vital body, and the mind. We have the physical body and the physical plane. So what separates myself from the rest of the universe is my physical body. This is very important for the growth of the jiva inside because it's like a egg or a seed. So it needs outer shell protection till it can come out and then manifest. If not, it becomes very easy and susceptible for the hostile forces to work on it. So these are very basic things we should know so that we'll know when we say Darshana or Siddhi, who is actually doing this Darshana. So now the mind has evolved naturally. Now we are sitting in a time and then space where the mind has naturally grown to the level where through the five sense organs, through the vision, hearing, smell, touch, and taste, through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the skin, we are able to gather the knowledge. The whole idea of human is the one with the mind. Manushya. That is with the mana, the one with the mana. The body with only with the vital force becomes the prana, becomes the prani. And where there is no expression of the life force and the knowledge outside becomes the jada prakriti. So you see the continuity of this. Now, what is our next step? The next step is mind is now projecting itself to the higher. Initially, it was required to put down, look at the using the prana shakti, and then body as a instrument, we start working. So in this transition time, what happens is there is manas, and then next step of evolution is a discriminatory power, whether to do this action or not. It's not about right and wrong. That aspect of manas, or we call it as antakarna, inner instrument, is called buddhi, the intellect. Intellect guides us what to be done. So now this mind, naturally, it is working on the vital force and the body to acquire knowledge from outside. So over a period of time in the evolution, this aspect has done its job. It's no more required. It's very clear. Any newborn baby can look at things and it can sense and it can easily understand what it is. We don't even have to teach them. A classical example today is you give a mobile phone to a 4 years kid. You don't have to tell anything to them. They will scroll. Within 10 minutes, they will know everything. And we say that the baby is so smart. Why? Because the mind aspect in the baby, in that body, is so much evolved because this mind is already exposed in the last 20-25 years. Now, those minds which have not been exposed, they may take more time. And especially we see with the elderly population now. They were not exposed to that to extent. This is a very typical example. You teach them even 10 times. They may retain it for maybe a week's time. Then they will say, they'll ask their grandchildren, can you please let me know how to open this WhatsApp? Or I want to see the status. Because their children are very busy with the outward activity. The only access they have is the grandchildren, and they can take care of that part. Okay, that's a different subject. Now, coming back to this in the evolution, the mental consciousness now it has to grow higher and deeper. So, all the experiences right now we are doing is down and out through the mind, the vital force or the life force, prana, and the body. Majority of us, 99.9%, are involved in this materialistic world. It's not inferior world. Materialistic world or physical world is not inferior, but this is just an instrument using that to go higher, like just like this building or a meditation hall or relics or an image or the photo or a symbol. These are the means through which I can penetrate into this higher force. So because the mind has not yet gone to that stage full-fledged, majority of us, we think satisfying our emotional desires and physical needs is the goal of the life. Just like we see three generations in our family, my grandparents, they were not bothered about their own house or a permanent residence or work. They were not bothered about bank balance. They were not bothered about acquiring things or the luxury. When it came to my parents' generation, they they wanted a secured place, a good amount of education, what we call today in the schooling. And then comes our generation, where we are evolved to such extent that we already have a house, we want one more as a source of income, or we want to invest in share market or anything to acquire, to possess these physical things. There is nothing wrong in possessing this as long as the physical thing is not possessing me. I should not get possessed of that. This getting possessed naturally goes with this predatma. We say that such a person is being possessed by the hostile forces. Where are these hostile forces? It is in the physical tamas. It may be in the gold, or it may be in the shopping we do, or it may be the food we eat. Because they are required, but that's not the ultimate thing. To know this is the ajnana. What we are ajnana is not ignorance, is not lower. Ajnana or the ignorance is we should know ajnana also. It only says the direction in which I am going. If that is the jnana, the highest paramajnana, then going from the other direction of it, the direction of it, we call it as ajnana. It's not opposite. Once we know the ajnana, then we know there is a jnana inside. The material world is inherent with this jnana ananda. That is the reason whenever we possess any of the material things, we feel happy. Why do we possess anything? We feel happy. So it will give us an experience to starting with. What does it mean to feel happy? So classical example is something we could take it as a fruit. For example, apple. Now, all of us know apple. So what does it mean when I say, what do you know about apple? Then we say apple is a fruit, the shape, the size, color, everything we know. If you have seen in a picture only, then we have very limited knowledge. If you have seen that and then you have touched, then it's the next level of knowledge. You see how the five sense organs, if there is no touch involved, if it is only seeing and hearing, then there is a very limited knowledge about that. Then you touch and smell. Then there goes the next level of knowledge and experience. Now, is that all we are happy with that? No. Then what is the ultimate aim of the apple to have the experience is to taste. Now, when I taste apple, then I know the essence within the apple. Till then, there is no experience of this. So, what is that essence? There is a knowledge and there is an ananda. If you confine yourself to the nutrition part or the physical aspect only, it will be only the physical knowledge and the prana level experience of the taste. Mind knows something. So now this is very evident to our five sense organs. The same analogy, if I give it for the higher mind and above, most of us are not able to conceive that immediately. So there is a gate which we need to cross because anna, prana, mana, and then there is vijnana. So this vijnana is knowing the things the way it is. That is Vishesha Jnana. Or the most essence part of it. So in the apple, what is the most essence? The taste of it. So taste represents the Vijnana of the fruit. Or if you take money, the most essence is the utility, the artha. It should become meaningful. It should be helpful to either me or to other human beings or to the community. Then that is the Vijnana of that. So we'll come to that Vijnana aspect when we go next step into the Jiva. So we are not touched that. From there starts the Darshana or the Siddhi. Now apple is very clear because it's about the five sense organs I have seen. I'll give another fruit name. I have seen that fruit. I don't know how many of you have seen. The fruit is Aurobindo. Have you heard of it? Aurobindo? Anybody? Aurobindo. Oh, Aurobindo. No? This is not naturally available. This I have seen when I was doing farming, where the orange plant grafted with Musambi plant. There was no name for that. So I got the fruit. It was neither like an orange nor like a Musambi. So there must be some name. So I call it as Aurobindo, orange and Musambi together. Now, what is the taste of that? It looks like Musambi, but it's not exactly. There is some aspect of orange. The moment somebody looks, there Many people cannot differentiate. They ask the fruit seller, which is orange, which is Mosambi. To that extent, we are today. At least those who know, you see, the grafting was so wrong, but we got some new. The creation happens in such a way, the mutation and mix and match. Now, if you don't know R&B, then I keep on talking about that without telling what is that fruit. So, what is the knowledge you get and what is the experience you get? Because you never tested that, you never touched it, and you never saw that, even the image of. So, now we are talking about the divinity, which the five sense organs, through that you cannot see, you cannot touch, you cannot smell, you cannot taste, then you cannot hear as it is. So still then, even with all these aspects, we have the ability to experience it beyond the five sense organs. Now, if we want to actually experience something, we should stop the knowledge coming from the five sense organs to start with in the ascent. Now, if you stop, then who is actually experiencing? It's not the physical body, we know, because physical body is just a matter. It's not the prana, because it's just an energy. It is not the mind, because it only receives knowledge and processes thoughts, not even thinking, and then it gives out. Then who is actually experiencing? The experiencing is done by somebody beyond this. That beyond we call it as the self. That is myself. The first step in this path is to experience the self within me. So, what happens the moment I experience this self? I cannot show you. I can experience myself. You can experience yourself in the initial stages. As you grow, then there is a connection between all these selves, and then there is a small s self here and the capital S, higher self. The connection goes on horizontally and vertically. So, identifying this self within me and working from there becomes the starting point for this kind of darshana and siddhi. This is what Sri Aurobindo opened very, very clearly. Consciousness in the evolution was struggling to pierce this Vijnanamaya kosha. Now we see Anna Pranamana. Vijnana is a bridge between lower three. Again, lower is not inferior. Lower is what is already evolved, the Sat aspect of it, connecting that with the higher three, Satchitananda. From above, Sat, existence, Chit is the consciousness force, Ananda is the divine delight. These are the three attributes of the supreme divinity. Now we are connecting this. This can be only experienced, the existence or the consciousness, and then force, and then Ananda can only be experienced. The force I can experience, I cannot know it. Energy, I cannot know it. Knowing is the mental activity. And the knowing becomes more with the physical world. But it is important initially to know that, at least like knowing to read English. Then you can read English, but you cannot understand Sri Aurobindo. Why? Because you are reading it as a object through the five sense organs. Now, what Mother explained to us is, don't do this. Instead, you just read the word. The letters or the words are inbuilt with that knowledge and ananda. Then you will experience that. That message has also taken the other side of it, saying that don't understand things. You have gone to the extent of anything we can corrupt. They say that Savitri, don't understand. So those who are not even that stage, see, you should know the basics about Savitri, Savitri, who is Ashwapati, some basic things you can know. If you know that, like knowing an apple or Aurobindo. So when you know that, then you will know there is something which I can experience, but that is not limited to knowing or understanding. Now we are talking about this self. So now we are in a place, identify yourself to the extent that is possible. Keep yourself open. Then we'll see what are the darshanas we have experienced in each one of the selves. So that is darshana in light of Sri Aurobindo. It's purely experience. This is what Veda talks about. Veda means it's an experiential knowledge. The rishis had the darshana of the mantra because the sound starts with the para, pashyanti, madhyama, vaikhari. Vaikhari is what I'm talking. But the source of this sound is para, parame vyoman. And then those who have elevated themselves to that level, they can have the pashyanti is seeing. Pashu means see, Pashu means knowledge. Pashu also means knowledge. Pashu also means animal. That's why we have the go or the cow. It's a representative of this knowledge. In the physical world, the representation is cow, go. I'm just introducing the word go or the not or the cow, which means knowledge. It's also cow. It's an animal. From the pashyanti, from the point of view, the word, it's not the cow is not knowledge. The word go represents the knowledge. You should not see, okay, now go is when you say go rakshana is not. It is important to do rakshana of all animals. At the same time, go, the word means knowledge. It's not the cow doesn't mean knowledge. You're talking about the same word at the physical level is cow. At the highest level, it is the pashyanti or the knowledge or the Veda mantra. This can be experienced only through the jiva or what Sri Aurobindo has given it because there was so much of confusion about the jiva, atma, and other things. He made it more clear, especially for the Western world and the modern world, as a psychic being, different from the human being. If you are familiar with that, you can take it. Psychic being doesn't exactly give the meaning of jiva or atma. It's like the working aspect of jiva or the atma can be psychic being. Okay, we'll not go into the details of that. We'll only go with the experience of this. Now, with the centric of the jiva, that is beyond physical, vital, and mental, there is something inside. Now, I am working, the whole of my life is the working of this, the journey of this jiva. So, journey of this jiva is through the mind that is acquiring knowledge and the life force which is required for the movement of the body. So these three becomes the instrument of this jiva. When I say instrument, that means it is directly in my control. So we struggle controlling our physical body, our vital body, our emotions, or the mind, the thoughts. Most of the time, we spend a lot of time in the meditation, trying to concentrate the mind and avoid any of the thoughts. It may work. Majority of the time, it doesn't work because the very nature of the mind is to go out. It is seeking from outside and then to doubt. The faculty of the mind is to doubt. So that doubt gets clarified with the intellect, buddhi. The third aspect of it is aham, ego aspect. Ego is not egoism. The ego is what I'm calling it as the self within me. So now, if I identify myself with the body, I'll be having this lifetime only fulfilling the requirements of the physical world. Or if it's a vital or prana, then whole life I'll be struggling for emotional support. Or if it is only identifying with the mind, then acquiring knowledge, jnana, becoming a scholar. But there is no experience here. It is only spending that. Now, if I know this jiva or put this self, aham tattva, in the jiva, then to this jiva, these three becomes the instruments. Then we don't have to work on the mind, prana, and the body and try to get control. It's like boss is in the chamber. Then you don't have to control anyone. They are automatically controlled. You don't have to make an effort. You don't have to put do's and don'ts in the office. If the boss is not in the office, then you should say, you do these things, you don't do these things. This is a lunch time, this is a break time. If you have boss, head of the family, everything will become automatic and nobody will disturb others. So easiest way for the ascent of it is to identifying myself. Now all the experience now we are talking is the experience of the self now. Now you relate all the experience you had. If I ask you from childhood, what are the experience you had? There are multiple things. You will remember some things which you gave lot of happiness to you, and then you will remember those things which gave the pain, the suffering to you. Why do you remember? And then do you still suffer when you remember about the bad things that happened or you lost? Most of the time it is gone, unless you are too attached to that. Now, what happened that happiness and the sad or the sorrow, it became experience to the jiva. The situation, the person or the object are taken out. What I had during that time becomes experience. Anubhava is the right word. Experience doesn't give too much of anubhava. It becomes bhava within this. Anu is repeatedly. So this anubhava, the jiva is having it, and this is not in one lifetime. This is continuously happening in different lifetimes. So these are very basic things we should know. We are not contemplating on whether there's a rebirth. This is not required for us. That's a different discussion where we want to see whether it's a rebirth or not. That's again, you can logically, from the Tarka Shastra point of view, either you can prove there is no rebirth or you can also prove there is rebirth. When you say there is no rebirth, that is also correct. Who is actually taking birth? No one, because Jiva is eternal. Only the body is going out. So, from the Tarka point of view, it's useless. We are talking from the experience, Anubhava point of view, Anubhava of Jnanananda Swarupa. Now we'll start that experiences. Now, all that experience we had till now has become knowledge to me. Let's say experiential knowledge. Let's say that I had all these experiences. What does it mean? It's not number of years in the CV. It's not 20 years you worked in a company, 25 years you worked in an industry. That's not experience. After 25 years, say, this is the essence, I got it. And who got this essence? Not my body, not my prana, not my mind. It is my self inside. Through this professional life, I got the experience. It is through this, that means it is the, I use this an instrument, my body, my intellect, my profession, my knowledge, my certificate, all these things I used. I is the self used to gain the experience and then store it in the jiva. Now, with this background, it's very easy to see what is darshana. Very simple thing of darshana is you go or you can stand in front of Sri Aurobindo and mothers. Whenever I say Sri Aurobindo, I mean Sri Aurobindo and mother. Whenever I say, I mean mother and Sri Aurobindo. They are not two different entities. That's very clear to me. If it is, the first thing we should know in this path is there are no two things as Sri Aurobindo and the mother. It should be experienced. Don't take it as external knowledge. These are not words. There will be a day. Till then, you keep it separate. There is no harm. There is nothing wrong. I say mother is more easy for the approach. Sherbundo is slightly far away. He is in that next level. I am very comfortable with the mother. Or somebody may say, oh, Sherbundo is very easy and it comes. Then mother is a foreigner, a French lady, that too being a lady. For men, it may be more egoistic. How can I go down in front of mother? Maybe that's also fine. But a day comes when you cannot differentiate. You cannot. It is not that you are trying to see it as one. You cannot see it as two. Then you say Sri Aurobindo, it means Sri Aurobindo. But they're like Purusha and Prakriti. You cannot separate. To know things, you have to separate. That analysis. Analysis, ana is knowing. Anatomy or analogy is, lysis is cutting. We cut. So we take into two pieces and try to know, like dissection. You dissect. That's the initial step for the mind only. Now for the knowledge, you see the mother and Sri Aurobindo's photo, then you feel there is something happening inside. That's an experience. Typically in the meditation room, in the first floor, you go and see the color of the flower. Whether you know it or not, it's Sri Aurobindo's color or it is a special day or anything. The moment you go and stand there, if you are open, if you are receptive, immediately you feel that there is a force entering in you. Who is experiencing this? It is actually Jiva experiencing. But if you try to know things, what is special today? Start reading about it. Oh, okay, on this day, Sri Aurobindo got the complete image of Vasudeva, Sri Krishna. Then the mind works. It becomes more intellect. That's another joy. But that doesn't give darshana. It only give you knowledge and you can show that you know things. It is just an instrument, but it's not an experience. The another example is you go to any temple. You struggle, especially the famous temples, Tirupati or Ayodhya. You struggle 2, 3 days, you go there, you stand in front, and then you look at the idol, and then the idol is beautiful. After all this effort, even if it is 3, 4 seconds, for a moment, I'll close my eyes. What am I doing there? It naturally everybody closes the eyes and then hold the hand in front of the chest. What is happening with this? I want to completely absorb the divine energy within me and then cut off all the sense organs. So when you do this, holding on and it goes on, that divinity of jnana and ananda, that is ananda of being in front of the divine. It is not I am seeing the divinity is revealing itself to me. That is darshana. So darshana actually means the divine reveals itself to this self. The higher self can only reveal to the lower self. The lower self, that is myself, I cannot look at something higher. Cannot have access to the CEO of the company. If you are an employee, the max you can have an access to your manager cabin. Maximum. If you are a director, then you can have access to the CEO, depending on the position where you are. But CEO can anytime come down and meet you. There is no access control for it. When he comes, you feel very good. Wow, he has come to me. Even in the most physical level. This is, he reveals himself. He shows himself. This is showing the divine, showing himself in idol or in a picture, in a symbol, object, situation, person, anywhere the divine decides to reveal itself, we take it as darshan. So, what is the darshana we had today? Put across all the experience of darshana, it will be jnanananda swarupa. How do we experience this divinity? Is through the jnana that the divinity is revealing. Revealing is same way the mantra has been revealed. There has been darshana. That's a shruti. They hear shruti or they have the darshana. That is the pashyanti level of the sound. This is a vaikhari level of the sound. The formation of the sound is madhyama. Then myself will have a look at it. It can see. That is the pashyanti level of the sound. But the origin of the sound is parame vyoma. That we call it as the para. The para is the absolute. Our in this evolutionary path, we are not yet ready for this, but we are ready for Pashyanti. That we have seen with all the rishis, including Sri Aurobindo as a Maharshi. There are many such Ramana Maharshi. If you say all those things, they had that vision of the divine, an aspect of it, or they had the full vision, but we can only get an aspect of what they saw and then give it to us. So we cannot say that Sri Aurobindo did not have complete experience of the divine. No, because I cannot conceive today. So for this, in the meditation, the sentence I got is, I have not read this anywhere, but this sentence gave such a beautiful experience. Darshana of Sri Aurobindo for Darshana of Sri Aurobindo. If you want to have an experience of Darshana of Sri Aurobindo, what the Darshana he had, then we should have Darshana of Sri Aurobindo within. The English 3 words, Darshana of Sri Aurobindo, remains same. So this I take it as a mantra. This is mantra darshana. I don't know Sanskrit. I don't have to get everything in from Sanskrit. Now darshana of Sri Aurobindo for darshana of Sri Aurobindo itself becomes my mantra. I can do manana on that through myself. So I'll give another example of the same temple. Recently, we had did this parikrama of Arunachala in Tiruvannamalai. There we had the opportunity of early morning with Tiruvannamalai temple. We have the Ishwara temple. We went early, very early morning. But the first thing in most of the temple, Udupi or even in Tirupati, first thing, the divine idol, it will have a look at the Go Darshana. I don't know if you have seen that or heard about it. They bring the cow and then make it stand in front of the idol. Nobody else is allowed to see. It's like with the veil covered. There are two covers. One is the idol is covered, the divine is covered. The other cover is my jiva, myself is covered by myself. My veil had to tear and then get into myself. The another veil or this curtain, I cannot tear. Nobody can tear. We can only slide it away. You slide that and the divine reveals itself. That's a revelation or the darshana. These two veils are very important for us. Now, what is symbolically this is doing? Go, as I said, it is an animal. And also go means the knowledge, the highest knowledge. Like Gopura, Gopala. Krishna is Gopala. Pala is one who protects and nourishes the knowledge. He is Gopala. Govardhana. Vardhana is increase. He lifts the Govardhana Parvata effortlessly. That's a knowledge is uplifted. Then it becomes Govardhanagiri. And then those who love knowledge, they become Gopika. Then his own clan, the Kula, becomes Gokula. The people around him becomes Gokula. Those who seek knowledge are in the Gokula. So the word go means, of course, physically they were taking care of the cattle. Because go also means cattle. Now, what is happening with that is my experience. Till then, I have seen this and then all those things happened. Those who are in the physical plane, they're happy being there, touching the animal, and then just experiencing. The touch, the physical level of the life force or the physical force, or knowing it or being there, it gives a slight amount of the peaceful and then good vibration. You are in the meditation. But these are confined to the lower three, Anna, Prana, Mana. Now, if you open yourself to this higher knowledge, then what happens? The go doesn't remain go. You don't have to touch that. It is through the eyes of the knowledge. Now you take out the cow. Go is the knowledge. Through the eyes of the knowledge, symbolically, you should see the idol. Only then the veil, even if it is taken out physically, the cow first sees the race and also the divine is revealing itself. If you don't have a knowledge, you will break down. That's what Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. I will show myself, but your human eye cannot conceive it. You will go into pieces. So I will give you Divya Drushti. Divya means Div means the divine, the light, the knowledge. Symbolically, I should open up to that knowledge, surrender myself completely with this eyes of the knowledge, that is Antas Chakshu. Chakshu is the eye, through the eyes of the self, not the physical eyes. Now, if I see, open up myself, then I become the cow. I become the knowledge. With this, I look at it, the veil is open. Till then, idol is only idol. You will not get the experience of the divinity unless you close your outside eye. Initially. After that, it doesn't matter. Divine is everywhere. To start. Now, this is the darshana what we are getting. This is one such classical example. Now, when we keep on going in this path of looking the Jnanananda Swarupa, the divine aspect in everything, through myself, the Jiva, then automatically we'll start getting the Siddhi. We don't have to struggle for Siddhi. In this process, it's a byproduct. If you want to put in the medical terms, it's a side effect of the tablet. You are getting all the good effects of the tablet, medicine. But there are some side effects. Side effects need not be always bad. Many times it can be good also. We use such side effects to treat some other things. Now, this Siddhi, what it is? So, if you look at the Shastra, what happens is the Siddhis, Anima, Mahima, Garima, Lagima, you can become big, you can become small. These are definitely Siddhis where you can work on, but definitely it is not. Today, it is not relevant because all those was required to have the joy of this Siddhi in the physical world. That time is gone, the evolution is done. Now you don't have to do, it's not required. That is more from the pranic level, at the prana level. The tantra works more at the prana. Then tantra is a means through which you reach the highest level. And there are other methods also, which Sri Aurobindo has given us. In light of Sri Aurobindo, it is more easier. You don't have to go to through that hatha yoga. You heard of hatha yoga? Is one such example where you get that hatha siddhi. Hatha is like becoming very stubborn and say, I want the divine, nothing else. This you can complement here, not as a punishment, not as an achievement, like a joy. I want only the divine, nothing else. This is what the mother aspect of it going into this. Then the mother says, oh Lord, you are here. Oh child, you call me, I'm here for you. This is a siddhi. Those who can experience this jnana of what mother said, even in your dreams, it's not just the physical world. Even in your dreams, if there is something disturbance, this is I'm only sharing all the experience I had. I'm not even uttering a single word of the experience which I didn't have it. Because if I talk about something which I have not experienced, my jiva has not experienced, then yourself will not experience it now. It may be online or offline. Those who are hearing, they can experience this only if it comes through the experience of myself and then give it out. If it is only out of my scholarly knowledge, I have read something and then I speak, then you hear and then you say that, oh, these are not things. Okay, this is fine, a good lecture, and then thank you. It goes on. That's not the purpose. Now, what are these siddhis from the point of view of beginner? The immediate we got is because we are detaching from Anna, Prana, Mana unto the Jiva. All those problems related in the physical world, the vital world, the mental world, you have full control on yourself. Any problem that comes up, immediately we can go to the level of self and say, is it helping me in the spiritual path or not? It is just like pain and suffering. Pain is inevitable because there is a physical thing. We get hurt. There is pain. But suffering is optional. Whether I want to suffer or not is left to me. Most of the time, more than pain, it's the suffering. It's the fear of the pain. So this is what we need to have it. So the immediate siddhi is we have full control on these instruments, my own instruments. Now I use these three instruments. This is a fantastic siddhi. Dhi is from the dhiyo yona prachodaya. Dhi is the highest knowledge. But this siddhi is a ready knowledge. Siddha is getting it ready. It's readily available. But are you open for it? Are you available for that? It is available. Are you available? Are you receptive? Are you open for it? Can you surrender? If you, why it is important to surrender? If not, my ego becomes an hurdle. That is, my identity with this self itself becomes an obstruction to receive more and more. I say, okay, I know these things. I am a Brahmagnani. Then stops. It is you sealed yourself. Oh, I'm a doctor. Completed my MBBS. I'm a doctor. Till then, all the passion was there. Now the growth as a knowledge from the doctor going higher becomes stopped. Now you'll become a businessman because you got the siddhi of MBBS. You struggled. That is also a siddhi, physical level. You got a certificate, is a siddhi. Your position being a manager or a director is siddhi. But this siddhi, what are you using it for? Are you using it for yourself, your own selfishness? Here it is not self, it is selfishness to fulfill your own requirements. Or you are giving it to all the cells. outside. So this is what makes the Siddhi useful. What Sri Aurobindo and Mother explained is, don't go behind this Siddhi, try to acquire. Because in this path, you get all those things. You enjoy. If at all, if you have to use that Siddhi, use it, but offer it to the divine. Don't take it as I own Siddhi. You cannot own it because your Jiva itself is not yours. That is again in the control of the higher self. Now, how can I say that I have got the Siddhi? So next, what are the other Siddhis we can get immediately? Now, for example, if I get angry very soon, then you offer that anger to the divine. Initially, it is difficult. Controlling anger is very difficult, even though it's not a natural instinct. Desire, kama is a natural instinct, the desire. Krodha is not natural. You get that if your desire is not fulfilled or if somebody else has got instead of you. So the krodha is an acquired thing. You can easily work on. You can throw away krodha and become free of the anger. What happens? Why we get anger? Because of the egoism. Somebody's hurt me. That myself, I say it is my body or my emotion or my position or my name. See, you see, all these are wrong identity. Because of this wrong identity, that particular word or a situation triggered anger. Now, the siddhi comes when you say, I am not this. You may say, tell whatever you want. I know myself. You cannot hurt me. So, this has been the teaching of all the great gurus who have experienced this. Now, is it all the siddhi? Then you can work on other of your, if you are too attached to a food or a taste. So, that's a very common thing. Or if you are attached to the shopping, there is a tendency to do shopping. Nowadays, it's very common because we have a lot of money. What is the best way to go to a mall or you just these are emotional. It's like dragging. If you see something, you go to a marketplace. Marketplace is highly vital. They do the marketing is a vital phenomena. Like even the poster, you even if it is a engine oil of a car, there'll be a lady poster for that. Why? The lady represents the physical beauty, highest physical beauty, just like flower, physical beauty to attract the attention. Now it is attracted, and then you see what is the product. You say, why is she standing there? Or even if a car. See, anybody can be there. The way it is dressed. So the vital force is attracting you. Then you will know this is a vital force attracting my vital force. Now you take it to the mind or intellect. Rest is to the self. You say, is it useful to me? Do I want this? To have the discrimination power? Then immediately it comes the inner voice to have it or not. Even though you are in the most hostile place, you get the siddhi of controlling, the self-control. Self-control of the self. And it is controlling its instrument. This is one such beautiful siddhi. And then comes the birth of the death. It may be birth of a new member, you will not get highly excited. Oh, okay, I have a baby, and then oh, I'm making all the halla gulla. What are you doing? The vital force. You enjoy it. But at the same time, you know that this birth, what has happened, ultimately this will also die. Now at the death, so we feel completely lost. Oh, this was not the age. It is somebody old and dead. We are okay. Because all these are mind that is being trained and then tuned. Otherwise, if it is a very young age, what we see, oh, that was not the age. It's very hurting. The God is not, that doesn't exist, first of all. Or he doesn't have a heart. See, the Jiva had a purpose of coming here. It got the experience. After that, it doesn't have any purpose living here. If you have served as a managing director for 5 years, there is no other further new things you can learn. You have to give it up. The only way you give it up, or if you are good, sincere, the nature will put it in such a way that you are taken out of that and then given a higher experience than initially you feel that you are lost. Unless you leave the lower thing, you cannot hold a higher thing. So this is one such siddhi. Now you see from the point of Sri Aurobindo's light of Sri Aurobindo, the darshana is to have the darshana from deep inside myself, the jiva, you will start having all these small siddhis, the smile on your face, and then accepting the person the way he is one of the biggest siddhi I can say that I have got. So don't judge the person like he's good, he's bad, he's wicked, he's a whatever it is, or the highest. No, you don't have to judge. You accept the way the person is. You may go to him or not. That's a different. But you have to see there is a jiva inside. There is sattva rajo guna working. He is also not aware of this. If the tamo guna is more powerful, he will express the tamasic guna. If the raja guna is powerful, he will express raja guna. If the sattva guna is, the whole prakriti is working through sattva, rajas and tamo. The same thing we experience daily in our Jagrata Avastha, when we are awake, go to sleep, there is a dream state, and then we go to the deep sleep where the complete identity is lost. So every day there is Srushti Sthiti Laya. The Pralaya is happening every day. We completely Laya is when it's going to the rhythm, Laya also means getting dissolved. So every day when I'm awake, then I see, then I work, then it continues. That is a state where the action is going on. When we go to sleep, there is a cyclical phenomena of dream state and then deep sleep. Whenever there is a dream state, mind is still active, but body is at rest. So when I'm awake, the body and mind both are active. The life force vital will be always active. The moment it ceases to active, then it becomes body, then you have to throw away, discard it. From the birth till death, life force keep on acting. It is my mind, if it is active and body is active, then it is a Jagruta Avastha. I am Jagruta, I am aware of these things. In the dream state, there is no physical world, but you are working with another body in the dream state. Why it is important? You will know the nature is introducing yourself to this another non-physical world every day. So you don't have to struggle. It is inbuilt phenomena. Now then comes mind. Most of the time, dreams are not very, or you don't have a control, or not very joyful. It may be painful also. There is a dreamology, it's a complete mechanism. Then comes the deep sleep, where the mind also goes to sleep. Even the aham also goes to sleep. That ego also goes to sleep, where you will not know who you are. Mind is not working, body is not working, only the jiva is working. In the jiva level, what happens in the deep sleep? You don't know. Still you exist. When you get up in the morning from the deep sleep, you feel that ananda. Because there your identity, it will come again. Then you will come back to the time and space. And then you identify. So now this deep sleep state, what is the first thing you get is, I had a very good sleep. I had that ananda. Then you will know that you will have ananda. But in that deep sleep state, you didn't have it. If you didn't get the deep sleep, it was only a dream state. In the dream state also, you get up, you feel very something lost. You're not happy. You said, I want to sleep for some more time. Because its mind is still active. So what is happening in the deep sleep is, this is the beauty of it. The jiva within me gets one with the Paramatma, the ultimate Jnanananda Swarup. Every night in the deep sleep, we experience that, but we are ignorant about it. We get the darshana or the knowledge of that when we get up. You will have that sense of it, but if you waste that first moment to go into the physical world, say, okay, this is Monday morning, then I have to rush. Then this entire experience of what you had, that beautiful time in the lap of the mother and the divine, that is lost immediately. So what our ancestor did is, early morning when you get up, first thank the nature. Pray for it. You will see that the jiva within was the prana, mind, everything in that Sukshma Sharira was with the highest itself. Now, what is the sadhana we have to do? The sadhana is the experience I had in this deep sleep Nidra Avastha. I should get into the same state when I am in the Jagruta Avastha. Awake. There is a physical senses working. mind is working, but I should become aware that there is a divinity everywhere. The self within me is always seeking for the highest self. This is called Turiyavastha. The fourth state. There is no name also for this. This is the avastha of Jagruta, Swapna, Sushupti, or the deep sleep, going to the Turiyavastha. When we get into this state of always being with the Darshana of the divine as a Jnanananda Swarupa, then you'll be always in the divine state. This is what Sri Aurobindo has explicitly cleared, at least to my experience, of Jnanananda Swarupa and Darshana and Siddhi in light of Sri Aurobindo. So ultimately, the Darshana of Sri Aurobindo for Darshana of Sri Aurobindo. Thank you.